Most people know Central Africa for its deep rainforests, but one country packs an entire continent's worth of diversity into a single border. Cameroon is officially nicknamed Africa in miniature, and for good reason. Within its borders, you'll find white sand Atlantic beaches, towering active volcanoes, ancient desert plains, exploding lakes, and hundreds of distinct cultures speaking entirely different languages. Here are 20 insane facts about Cameroon that prove it's one of the most underrated places on Earth. Africa in miniature. Cameroon gets its iconic nickname because every major climate zone and landscape found across the African continent exists inside this one country. You can start the day on tropical Atlantic beaches, drive through dense equatorial rainforests, climb high-altitude mountain savannas, and end up in semi-arid desert plains near Lake Chad, all without crossing an international border. Over 250 native languages. Despite having a population of around 30 million people, Cameroon is home to over 250 native indigenous languages. From Fulfulde in the north to Iwando and Douala in the south, the linguistic diversity is so vast that two people living just 50 miles apart might speak entirely mutually unintelligible native tongues. The deadly exploding lakes. Cameroon is home to two of the only three exploding lakes on Earth, Lake Nyos and Lake Monu. In 1986, a rare limnic eruption occurred at Lake Nyos when a massive cloud of carbon dioxide gas suddenly burst out from the lakebed, suffocating everything within a 15-mile radius. Today, scientists use special degassing pipes to constantly release trapped volcanic gas and keep the lake safe. The bilingual nation. Because of its colonial history, being ruled by Germany and then split between France and Britain after World War I, Cameroon is one of the very few countries in the world with both French and English as official languages. Roughly 80% of the country is francophone, while 20% is anglophone, creating a unique cultural blend where street signs, schools, and news broadcasts switch seamlessly between the two. Mount Cameroon's active fire. Rising over 13,000 feet straight out of the Atlantic coast, Mount Cameroon, known locally as Mongo Mandemi, or Mountain of Greatness, is the highest peak in West and Central Africa. It's also an active stratovolcano that erupts regularly, sending liquid lava flows spilling toward local villages and down into the ocean. Home of the giant Goliath frog. Deep in the swift-flowing rainforest rivers of western Cameroon lives the Goliath frog, the largest frog species on the planet. These massive amphibians can grow up to 13 inches long and weigh over 7 pounds, making them the size of a house cat. They can even leap up to 10 feet in a single bound. The birth of Camfranglais. To bridge the gap between English, French, and hundreds of native dialects, Cameroonian youth created their own secret hybrid language, Camfranglais. It blends French grammar with English, Pidgin, and local African vocabulary. What started as street slang among teenagers in Yaoundé and Douala is now a dominant cultural language heard in urban music, radio, and pop culture. The Rhumsiki basalt needles. In the far north of Cameroon near the Nigerian border lies the Kapsiki region around the village of Rhumsiki. The landscape looks like something straight out of a fantasy movie, dominated by towering ancient volcanic plugs, basalt needles, rising dramatically out of the desert floor. Famous travel writers have called it one of the most breathtaking moonscapes on the planet. The shrimp origin story. The name Cameroon literally comes from a seafood observation. When Portuguese explorer Fernando Po arrived at the Wouri River in 1472, he was amazed by the sheer abundance of ghost shrimp in the water. He named the river Rio dos Camarões, River of Prawns, which eventually evolved over centuries into the modern name Cameroon. Music of the Baka Rainforest. Deep in the southern rainforests live the Baka people, one of the oldest hunter-gatherer cultures in Africa. The Baka have developed a sophisticated form of polyphonic vocal music using the forest canopy itself as a natural resonator. Their music is so intertwined with the ecosystem that they use sounds, echoes, and rhythm to navigate the jungle and communicate over vast distances. The male and female crater lakes. High atop Mount Mananguba sit two stunning volcanic crater lakes separated by just a narrow ridge, Lake Male and Lake Female. Lake Male has intense turquoise blue water and is surrounded by rugged rock walls, while Lake Female has calm green water. Local tradition holds that the lakes possess spiritual powers, and visiting both offers harmony and balance. Football as a national religion. In Cameroon, football isn't just a sport, it's a unifying force. Known as the Indomitable Lions, Cameroon was the first African nation to reach the World Cup quarter-finals in 1990. Producing global icons like Samuel Eto'o and Roger Milla, football is celebrated so passionately that national team matches practically halt all business across the country. Ancient mountain engineering. In the rugged Mandara Mountains, local tribes built incredible stone-terraced agricultural systems thousands of years ago to farm on sheer cliff faces. This ancient engineering allowed them to grow crops in harsh, rocky terrains and protect their communities from invading forces, creating a dramatic landscape of stepped mountain farms that still exists today. Volcanic black sand beaches. If you visit the coastal town of Limbe, you won't find typical yellow sand. Instead, the beaches feature striking jet-black volcanic sand created by centuries of lava runoff from Mount Cameroon breaking down into fine dark particles against the crashing Atlantic Ocean. King Njoya's invented alphabet. In the early 20th century, King Njoya of the Bamum Kingdom did something almost unheard of. He invented his own fully functional written alphabet, called Shumom, to record his kingdom's history and medical knowledge. The royal palace of Fumban remains a cultural masterpiece, housing centuries of royal art, thrones, and ancient manuscripts. The rarest great ape on Earth. On the forested border between Cameroon and Nigeria lives the cross-river gorilla, the most endangered great ape subspecies in the world. Scientists estimate that fewer than 300 of these extremely shy, mountain-dwelling gorillas remain in the wild, making Cameroon's protected reserves vital for their survival. Living royal dynasties. Long before modern government, the northwest grassfields of Cameroon were ruled by powerful traditional kings called Fons. Empires like the Fon of Bafut or Mancon still hold immense cultural power today. Their royal palaces feature intricate bamboo architecture, sacred carven pillars, and centuries-old court rituals that remain active in modern Cameroonian society. Waterfalls plunging directly into the sea. Near the coastal town of Kribi, the Lobe River does something extraordinarily rare. It tumbles over a series of cascades directly into the Atlantic Ocean. It is one of only a handful of waterfalls in the entire world that empties straight into a marine sea environment. The Untouched Primate Sanctuary. Covering vast swathes of southeastern rainforest, the Dija Faunal Reserve is one of the largest and best protected rainforest ecosystems in Africa. Surrounded almost completely by the natural border of the Dija River, it remains so remote that it shelters vast populations of wild forest elephants, chimpanzees, and mandrills untouched by human development. The National Bitterleaf Feast. You can't understand Cameroon without experiencing its food culture, dominated by indole, made from stewed bitter leaves, crushed peanuts, crayfish, and beef or shrimp. This rich dish is a source of intense national pride. It's served at weddings, festivals, and family gatherings across every region, proving that despite 250 languages, great food unites the nation. From exploding crater lakes and active volcanoes to invented alphabets and coastal waterfalls, Cameroon is truly a powerhouse of natural and human wonders. Which of these Cameroonian facts surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more deep dives into the wild world around us. Catch you in the next one.